thought we was. There we go. I'm going live now. All right, boom.
Y'all rappers? Yeah, man. No smokers. Where y'all from? Tell me where y'all from.
Now catch me on that hilltop. Better yet on 7th Street. Welcome to... Welcome to Steubenville, where hell and heaven meets. I shall forever be attached to this lonely road. Dean Martin territory, let me show you how we roll. Haters on the sideline, politic with diddy bops, knowing damn well their only interest is that cash. Crop green like a grasshopper. Fiends on that mass hunt, trees on that next blunt, G's on that cold front. They think he's on that hover. I have reasonable doubt. Politics as usual, it's keeping me from getting out. Since the death of Whammo, it's different in this foxhole. Striving off resistance, cannot let them knock this hustle. So put your hands up like you got 5 on it. Catch your dogs mad cause they knowin' that my swagger is. They can't breathe like they having asthma attacks. Another man from Ohio that's back on the map now. From Steubenville, hold me now. Steubenville. I'm from Steubenville, hold me now. From Steubenville. I'm from Steubenville, hold me now. Now you can catch me up at Speedway, purchasing some Newport, Steubenville, Ohio. Give it all that I've got. Most the haters mad, they just riding on my Cyclops. Talking about you ain't gon' blow, and I be like, why not? Anything can when you living in the city of murals, and there's some bread crust out there. Believe that some of it's yours, and I don't hustle unless you talking alphabet soup. Because my music is forever, it's my fountain of youth, and I'm giving you a free sip. I got a buzz big as a bee's nest, so mind your bee's nest. The only thing I wanna know is where's the weed at? That sticky, yicky, yeah. Call it some tree sap. So put your hands up like you got 5 on it, cat. Your dog's mad cause they know when that my swagger is back. They can't breathe like they having asthma attacks. Another man from Ohio is back on the map. Nah, from Steubenville, hold me now from Steubenville. Nah, 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 nah. Steubenville. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville. Nah, 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 I'm from Steubenville. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville. Nah, 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 I'm from Steubenville. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Another Killerville collaboration. This ain't no fabrication. About to leave this microphone a laceration. So how you thinking you can get with this? Spinning this shit just rapping over, hitting garbage can lids with sticks. Straight ball. When I flip the script, I'ma hit the split. Sip a fifth till I hit the bricks. Plus, yes, the click I rhyme with. Ain't gotta rhyme quick enough. From out the ring like Butcher Smith. Another Steubenville street story. Call up my homie Most Blind. Loop another beat for me. Another 740 track to slaughter. They ain't got shit on ill will. Them clowns need to practice order. Coming straight out of the underworld. It's controversial, not commercial with them diamonds and a bunch of pearls. Look at you sounding like a bunch of girls. Steubenville, we crashed the after party, spiking the punch. Earl. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville. You know the deal, kid. It's Steubenville, kid. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville. It's Killerville, kid. You know the deal, kid. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville. You know the deal, kid. It's Castville, kid. Steubenville, homie, now I'm from Steubenville.
Seven four zero.
What you doing? Where you at? Who you with? You're now tuned into the Heavy is the Crowd podcast. I'm your host, D.L. Malone. The artist, Most Blind. The brand is DelTha510. It's also the Cash App if you want to throw your boy a buck. That's DelTha 510. Let's go. I first want to start by saying that I've been given a foundation, a resource, and a platform to express my thoughts and opinions based upon my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this life here. All men were created equal in my belief, but we don't think, nor are we all treated equally. And my intent is to gain and deliver knowledge to those in earshot. Shout out to my main man, number 5, for blessing me with the beat. You. What up, world? We're here. with my main man. You already know, Georgia Theologian. Give it up, y'all.
Off to a flying stop.
Man, you guys got to forgive me for this lag that we got going on. It's just the internet
How'd that
connection.
happen?
All that lag we got going on is just the internet connection. I didn't want that song to play with so many pauses, but we're here. Shout out to all my podcast pioneers prior to my arrival. Shout out to my loyalists and extremists, and shout out to my day ones in the last days. My main man, George. What's going on? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Happy Halloween weekend.
Ah,
I hope you're happy. I hope everyone's happy out there. If we can help you to be happy, more power to it, right?
absolutely.
Because we want to be happy. We don't want to be sad. We want to be happy.
All I really want is to be happy.
Happy together.
Mm-hmm. That was 2 songs.
By the Turtles way back.
Mm.
But anyway, we got some good suds here, and we're not talking about bubble bath.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Salute, my friend. Salute, my friend.
And I dyed my hair for this occasion.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that?
Dyed my hair. Got the peace hat on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
See, I
care.
gotta pull it down a little bit more so they can see it.
Yeah. Let me try to do that.
Let's pull it down some more. How's everyone doing this evening? You know, if you got time tuned in, you're probably sitting around separating candy and such because there's a lot of trick-or-treating going on tonight. Happy Halloween to all those.
A lot of candy going on.
Yeah. A lot of candy. Candy.
Candy.
So Halloween, man, straight into it. Halloween, man, what's that? There's some sort of something, because you know you went to school for a long time to learn about a lot of stuff, and Halloween you know a little bit about. I know you do.
Yeah, well, Halloween, we can break it down theologically, which is why I'm here, right? And Halloween, well, first of all, comes from the word All Hallows Eve. October 31st was considered All Hallows Eve. Now, hallow, Hallow, which is like a root word for Halloween, as you know. Hallow means sanctified. It means holy. So All Hallows Eve was a Christian Eve for All Saints Day, which is November 1st in the church.
November 1st?
November 1st is considered, remember there was only one church back then, 2,000 years ago. We didn't have all these other parts, these denominations. We only had one, so All Hallows Eve was a Christian holiday for All Saints Day. Eve means, night before, and then All Saints Day would be November 1st. Now, so basically it was Christian before anything. But let's take a look at how it's evolved. It's evolved into trick or treat and everything else, and that came from the Celtic culture,
Okay.
Which was a couple thousand years ago.
All right.
And what they did, the Celtics. We're talking about Ireland, Scotland, that area. What they did was they celebrated end of the harvest. It was called End of the Harvest. And so they got a lot of the Halloween traditions as we know it today, the trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating originally in the Celtic culture was that people would go out and knock on doors, and they would exchange bread for prayers. People would give them bread, and they would in turn say prayers for them.
Interesting.
So that's how that kind of started with the trick-or-treating.
Okay.
And then,
when put a timeline on that. That was back. Celtic was how long ago?
well, a couple thousand years ago.
Okay.
And then it kind of evolved, in different ways in a pagan, different pagan things, with the dead, thinking the dead were walking among the living, kind of like, setting that up and different things, So anyway, yeah, it was kind of like the Celtics kind of set up the culture as we know it today. But again, it was the Celtics really based their holiday on end of the harvest. And
Did they have chocolate back then?
chocolate. Well, there was.
In the Celtic times?
I'm sure they did because chocolate comes from a leaf. I think it comes from a
Cocoa.
a
Cocoa
plant.
leaf.
Yeah, plant.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was around. Now I'm sure the bread became the candy, as the kids do it today. They get the candy. But anyway, the church itself never condemned the Celtics for doing this. They tried to work together, and the church usually tries to do that. They try to normalize things.
Yeah.
So that it's good for everybody. They're not like they weren't like a rigid parent or anything like that. So Halloween's really not rejected by the church. Okay.
Okay.
Now today there are some
media turned it into something evil then, huh?
Well, there's some. Remember, the church broke off into different denominations, and those denominations today, kind of sometimes they will condemn Halloween as pagan, as evil. But
now, for those who don't know, what is pagan? What's pagan?
Pagan isn't really a bad word. It's not an. It doesn't.
Yeah, because people take pagan to be with a lot of falsehoods that be around. Like, oh, well, Santa, that's a pagan thing, and this is a pagan holiday. Right. Yeah. So what's a pagan for people that don't already know?
Pagan really means secular. It means like something that's like you got the secular culture and you got the religious culture. Like rock music would be considered secular, Christian music is Christian music, but you have other music that would be considered secular. Is that evil? No, not necessarily. I mean, of course, it depends on the content, but I mean, most secular music isn't evil. I mean, Beethoven, Bach, that was secular music. Okay?
But still, I'm not getting the understanding when you're trying to compare. I'm saying like rock music is secular compared to Christian music. So what's secular though?
Well, secular could, really. Well, let's look at religious music. Religious music basically has the subject of God. God is in the lyrics.
Okay.
Jesus, whatever, something biblical is in the lyrics.
Okay.
Versus blah, blah, blah. Well, while something secular isn't that way, it could express a feeling of a person towards a woman, like if like a love.
Anything other than a religious type of music.
Right.
So secular is anything other than some sort of like a particular
religious connotation.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, and the way I look at it is this, and I think what you have to do is you can't really polarize the two. You have to, and this is what the church does. They try to work together, just like the Halloween thing. You have to try to accept both, because I mean, if you're a believer, if you're a God-fearing person, you know that God is in people. God is in their world too. God is in what a man, a woman, whatever they're expressing in their lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And so God is in all that as well. I mean, He created us to love and to have this joy and peace with each other. So you don't have to always have songs about God, is what I'm saying. Okay,
and the songs that aren't about God you consider to be secular, or okay. So this gets back to like, what is pagan?
Pagan is related to secular. Okay, like a pagan holiday.
Okay.
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 I think a lot of people have basically used the word pagan as evil, though they've changed it. Okay. But Santa Claus, all that was considered pagan.
Yeah.
Okay, for Christmas, but it wasn't considered evil back then. But now people are like I said, today's culture is very extremist. It's very polarized. You have a very polarized culture today, with political parties, with religion, as we're describing here. I mean, even sports. Sports are taking polarized attitudes now. So we're not really working together like we ought to.
Well, why not? Because we just had the debate earlier. I don't know if you necessarily want to get into it before you go on about this Halloween thing, but you saying like you don't think the politics should be getting involved in the sports.
Yeah.
But no one had a problem with it getting into the music.
Right, I think okay, I'm going to just use, and this is a fact, I mean, ESPN basically has injected politics, their views, their attitudes into sports, okay? Do we want to see that? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem balanced to me. It doesn't seem like a balanced, I mean, a lot of people just want to watch sports for sports. They don't want to lecture, on what a team should do, like take away the Cleveland Indian mascot, or, they don't want to do that. They accept, there's kind of like people that want to change things.
For the greater good, and then there's just some people that want to change things to be annoying and pestering and to just constantly open envelopes that ain't their mail.
Yeah, I mean, is change good? Of course change is good at certain...
Change is good.
Change is good. And, that's the difference between the conservatives and the liberals. The conservatives basically stay the same, and they operate out of a kind of a moral, you should do it this way kind of attitude, whereas the liberals kind of want to change some things. Okay, they want to change some things and they think they're doing it for the better. Okay, so where does it all come together? That's what we're trying to find out. I mean, we're trying to find that out.
Maybe it is sports. Maybe it's sports. That's where it all comes together, because everybody watches the sport one way or another.
I mean, back when I was young, I remember the protest of the 1968 Olympics with John Carlos and
Bruce Jenner.
The Black Power. No, this was before Bruce Jenner, where they had the black fists. Yeah. And they had won their gold medal. Right. In their relay race. And I thought it never really bothered me. It never really bothered me that they basically stood up for what they believed. Right.
And that was getting politics involved with sports.
And then politics got involved. They condemned him. Now it's accepted. So that's what I'm saying. Like things that were condemned are now accepted. And so I wish basically we would leave politics out of it. If an athlete wants to express something, let them express it. It's their freedom. It's their right. Okay. But sports sometimes now isn't allowing that to happen, because of political views.
Right, and teams will avoid you because of those said views.
Yeah. And, now probably the biggest thing that's going on in sports that's controversial is the athletes that get vaccinated versus the athletes that don't get vaccinated. Right. Okay.
Most specifically, the one that would be mentioned, we could mention right offhand, is Kyrie, but.
Yeah, Kyrie exactly.
Shout out to Kyrie.
Shout out. And but he's not the only one that has refused the vaccine. I mean, there's a lot of people. He believes it's his right, his God-given right, his freedom. Right. Nothing wrong with that to me, you know. But yet, why do we?
But don't have no babies, because we're gonna make sure we give it to your babies.
But why do we have this condemnation attitude by the sports media? Yeah. Why do we have that? Why baseball players, that didn't get the vaccination? I mean,
who namely?
Well, we had a problem. My favorite team, the Boston Red Sox, they had there was like a month where a lot of their team had COVID-19. They couldn't play. Yeah. And some of these guys never got vaccinated. Well, I mean, the media was all over this, and I don't think it's right to do that. I just don't think it's right for sports writers to basically inject their view of condemnation towards somebody that isn't like them or doesn't get the vaccine.
But you did. But
that's goofy to me. That's just goofy.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that. I mean, it's your privacy. It's your private right. We don't want to make our country into a communist country.
And it seems like that's what it's turning into. What good is getting the vaccine when you could still get it after you get it? Because it makes the symptoms less. I know.
Well,
I know.
Well, they even if you get it again, it's not deadly though with the vaccine. I mean, we have certain scientific facts we can use. Okay, but I mean, if people still don't want to get vaccinated, that should be their right.
So is the right of the company that doesn't want to hire somebody that doesn't want to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is if it's a private company. But I mean, the government in New York City, okay, now
they're just mandating it regardless.
they're
Yeah.
mandating it for their firefighters, their police, and that's dangerous. That's really bad because that's not a private company. Okay, these guys are working for the government. All right, so they have a right really to choose if they want to get vaccinated or not because of the government. Our right in government, our freedom in government. This is what separates us from a communist country. Is our freedoms, our private freedoms.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, it's not like leprosy. I mean, COVID-19 is not like leprosy. It's not like polio. It's not like some of the other diseases that we've previously had. It's not even like the Spanish flu. I mean, it's not like that.
Everybody wanted to put a timetable on how long it should take for a vaccine to be legit. Like, oh, well, it wasn't tested long enough. It wasn't tested long enough. How long is enough? How long do you think is enough in your time? I mean, you got the vaccine, right? Have you gotten the booster or anything since?
No, I probably won't get the booster.
Yeah.
I just think I got enough. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't feel like insecure about anything about the COVID-19.
Right. And that's a shame that media made you feel ashamed times to be outside or be around with no masks on. What kind of world was that we was living in last year? That was really weird.
Yeah, I think the mask mandate is. The masks really.
And now they got it to where the you have to wear those certain kind. Just those sleeves that you pull up over your face isn't enough.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too. I kind of with this COVID-19 disease, I kind of separate the age groups though, and this is really what the media fails to do. Like kids really don't need the vaccine. Okay.
And they just approved it for the kids under
Yeah,
a certain age.
If I had children, I would not allow them to get the vaccine. It doesn't affect them at all. The COVID-19. The same with even teenagers up to young adults and middle age. I mean, they don't really need the vaccine. The older people need the vaccine.
But they convinced them, and that was the whole strategy, was to convince the ones that didn't need it that they need it.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't receive something you don't need, especially medicine.
They said Robitussin wouldn't help. Dimetap wouldn't work.
What about orange juice?
Orange juice, yeah, orange juice. Your chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, it is a different animal than a common cold.
What happened to the cold? Did that uncommon animal eat that old animal of the cold? What happened to the cold?
Well,
man?
COVID I think has to do with cold. Only this is.
No, it came from bat shit
No, I know, but
in Wuhan.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what animal, to tell you the truth. But
Bat.
The bat. Okay.
Yeah, it came from the bat
Okay.
in the cave
But
in Wuhan.
COVID applies to.
They let it loose.
To the respiratory. Okay, COVID
Yes.
applies to respiratory. So that's what I'm getting at. Like
Fauci paid for it.
it affects your respiratory. Man, you're really getting into it. But I think people need to relax with COVID-19.
Right, shot or no shot, right? But there's
but
the police officers in Chicago, the firefighters in New York, and everybody, and the first responders. Period. They're going through it.
Yeah. And the supply lines, they were stuck. They still may be stuck. They're not moving because the companies are trying to make their people get the shot.
The who ain't the what?
Well, the supply line, like the truck drivers, a lot of these trucking companies, a lot of the supply are stuck on trucks, like in New York City, California. They gotta move all this stuff to different parts of the U.S. But that's the political.
In California, see, here's the thing. The demand that they have for the truck drivers right now, they say, oh, we need 60,000, we need 80,000 truck drivers. Yeah, I bet y'all do need some truck drivers, but they're not all triaxle trucks. And also the issue is over there in California is not only the fact that some companies have began the mandate and things of that sort of getting the vaccine to be able to work for their company. The other thing is those drivers, there's a lot of truck drivers out here, but they don't have their Twix card. And that's what the problem is. People fail to realize that, yes, we have a lot of truck drivers out there, but a Twix card is most important. A Twix card is that right that they give you to be able to cross the border or pick up goods off of any port in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So, we got plenty of truck drivers. It's just those truck drivers don't have a Twix card. And that's, and that's $106. I'm trying to get mine. So if you guys would like to donate to help me to go over to the coast and grab some of those doggone shipments that's coming off the coast with a company that doesn't mandate vaccines, I'm all for it. Please donate to the Cash App, DelTha510 Baptist Church. Praise the Lord. Pass the plate. But for real, like I'm trying to get my Twix card. So it's $106. If anybody out there wants to bless your boy so I can get my Twix card real quick when I go get the hand I'll go over there and I'll document some shit on the road, we'll do it that way. As you were though. Heavy is the crowd.
And the crowd is heavy.
Yeah, but Halloween though.
Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, man.
So what's everybody doing for Halloween?
Man, it was so stacked out I could barely get any beer. The gas pumps are. I didn't know there was that many people in the Ville.
Have they sold out the candy corn? Remember candy corn?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what? And it's crazy because nowadays I'll eat two pieces of candy corn just to make sure it's disgusting.
Oh my gosh. Candy corn is like the sweetest candy on the face of the planet.
All it is corn syrup and food coloring, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's all it could be, and some sugar.
Yeah,
It still worked though. You know what? It's a good ice cube in a big bag of candy. If you got a big fat bag of candy, a big pillowcase of candy, a big pumpkin with a black handle thing of candy, you know what I'm saying? And they got the Snickers, the Kit Kats, all the bite-sized goods, the Mr. Good Bar, all that.
Yeah, I used to like the candy bars the best when I went out for Halloween.
And you open a bag of candy corn.
Yeah.
You open it up and pour it in that bag or bucket of candy. Some of that candy corn is gonna get ate because people gonna eat that candy corn because they can't wait to get a piece of candy in their mouth before they can get to the good stuff.
Yeah, candy corn. I wonder if there's candy corn shots now at the bar.
Ugh.
Are there candy corn? There's apple. You got apple whiskey. You got all this other
I'd like to see if there was a candy corn shot. I'll try it.
I might have one sip,
Yeah.
sip. You know what I mean? But I bet you it's.
You buying? Let's go get a candy corn shot somewhere.
Okay, after the show.
All right. Ta-da. Yeah. So, Halloween and your theological perspective of it.
Yeah, well, I think Halloween. I like Halloween. I like costumes, and I think it's a good celebration if you do it right. It can be good. You don't have to be evil. Why? You could. A lot of people just like dressing up. They only do it once a year. They try to be. Whatever they want to dress up as.
Yeah.
And it's good. I think it's good. I've done it a lot of times, and in college and before college. But
yeah, some of the biggest parties I went to was at Ohio University Bobcats, and yeah, down there they hold some really big parties. Boy.
Yeah, I was never really.
This was pre-COVID.
Yeah, I've never really been to a huge Halloween party. Just most of them are small.
When a whole campus is partying though, and it's on some Halloween stuff, I was wearing a mask and I couldn't see, and I tripped over a park bench. Boy, it was really silly.
So what were you dressed as? Cowboy or something?
Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper, but I had a mask over my face that didn't have a face. It was just one of those clear, just a black mask.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just a black mask, not a ski mask, but just.
You didn't have one of those sickles, those poles with the.
Yeah, I think I had one of them too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had one of them too.
You were scary.
Yeah, back in the day before social media.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. I don't see anything wrong with Halloween either. I like it. Anything that makes the kids happy.
Yeah, I mean, it is basically a kid's holiday, but so is Christmas too with.
Yeah, but we save Christmas for the Christmas time. We ain't got to talk about Christmas.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm
You know, we
getting
say
ahead of
that.
myself.
Yeah. So what you think about? I know you heard about it. Them trying to talk about up to $450,000 for the immigrants that crossed the border that they let in.
Oh my gosh,
What do you think about that? Billions of dollars that we going about to cut checks to?
that's a bad decision. I mean, that's not right. Yeah, I'm for immigration, of course, but I mean,
Can we say it's safe to say anybody that voted for Biden was wrong?
I mean, it's not fair to the other Americans. I mean, there's a lot of Americans on at poverty level. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And they've worked. Some of them have worked very hard all their lives. A lot of the elderly, they lose their homes. They got to live in government housing. I mean, what about those people? I mean, all these people that could use. I mean, yeah, they had the stimulus checks, but I mean, compared to Canada and some of the other nations.
Yeah, they got a lot more now, but that's what I'm saying. They're about to give these immigrants that's coming here. There's about 10,000 of them folks walking right now towards the border.
Oh yeah.
Just marching, talking about si se puede, si se puede, si se puede. You know what that means? Yes, we can. And that means yes, we can. We about to cross this border, and our kids is about to cross, and these kids. We coming here with strollers and everything, backpacks.
Well, we know that government policy.
And they're gonna give them $450,000, bro.
I don't think they're going to be able to vote that through because we have a two-party system.
Yeah.
But I mean, the party that's really trying to make these decisions is the Democratic Party, which, of course, you have a Democratic president. So political policy is related to who's in charge, which administration is in charge,
Right.
which happens to be Democrats. So that's why this is going on, because they want a voting bloc of immigrants. They want, and the voting bloc, if we look at history, the voting bloc of Democrats is immigrants. So they're trying to add this.
We're
on.
all immigrants, George. We're all immigrants.
We're all immigrants, okay. But I mean, that's their baby, kind of the immigrants, because they're trying to get votes from these people coming in to the country as fast as possible, California, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So it's a political game. It's a big political game, and I refuse to really get emotional about it because it's not healthy for you.
It's not.
It's not healthy.
But those people who are trying to cross the border that's coming from, whatever country they came from, Haiti and such, like presidents got assassinated in Haiti, and then all of a sudden a bunch of Haitis are trying to come to the U.S.
Haitians, yeah. But there are states like Texas that are trying to prevent it. Okay.
They're spending a lot of money, and I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm saying something in the sense of like, let's look at the bigger picture. A lot of those people that work the border patrol in Texas are of kinfolk to the ones that's trying to cross.
Really?
I mean, a lot of them are of Spanish descent,
Oh, I see.
Mexican
Okay,
descent.
okay, yeah, because they're on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Gonzaleses and Humbertos.
Well, my take on some of this is you can't blame the people for wanting to come to America.
Not at all.
And
Greatest country in the world, America.
yeah.
But we're gonna fall from being the greatest country in America
Right.
when we start handing out checks of $400,000 to these immigrants crossing the border.
Yeah.
And some people in their lifetime working minimum wage, 40 years, ain't gonna even make half of that.
Right, and we can't. What I'm saying is you have to have certain rules and boundaries for people coming in.
And borders.
Just like they did at Ellis Island in New York. There were boundaries, there were rules. And this is why it's illogical to me, is because the Democrats know this, okay? And I'm not a Republican, but the Democrats know this, that at Ellis Island, anyone just couldn't come into the country. Okay, they had to do tests, medical tests, all kinds of things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody just couldn't come in. But I mean, the Democrats now are just letting anybody come in. They could be terrorists, they could be anybody,
Rapists,
criminals.
pedos.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I have with this legislation. That there's not really any rules or boundaries. They're just letting anybody in.
Drug supreme cliente.
Yeah, because they want the votes. They're trying to get more
And
votes.
here's the thing. This is where we're at with it as Americans now. All right? Because I believe wholeheartedly with all these immigrants coming in here, we got cities coming in. Like they said since last year, it's been like 2 mil. We done got like 2 mil in immigrants coming into the U.S. since last year. Now, besides that, they're going to be the ones that take all these jobs that we don't want, that 10, 11, 12, $13 an hour jobs. Guess who's going to hop in them? Francesca and her family. And they're going to take up all them little jobs, and you're going to start seeing them like you do in hotels everywhere.
Interesting. Is it starting now?
The,
or are they
the
taking
immigrants are
jobs
going to take up all the cheap jobs. What?
now? Are they taking these jobs now?
I wouldn't be surprised, but of course, you know,
I mean,
the only thing that seems to have migrated up to Ohio up to this point that I've seen on the radar is child trafficking,
Yeah, I mean,
which they've done an excellent job of keeping, you know, in check.
yeah. I mean, the only okay.
But I'm sure they're coming.
If we look at if we look at the history, if we look at the jobs previously, they were mostly agrarian or agricultural jobs. Okay, like a lot of these immigrants couldn't drive a truck. Let's face it, they couldn't. A lot of them, they're not skilled at driving, so they couldn't take those kind of jobs. Factory jobs, they'd have to be trained. You know, so I don't know what jobs they're taking. I mean,
They're taking the CVS. They're taking, you know, the whatever the doggone CVS, the factory. They can do factory jobs, yeah, and they gotta just do the same, you know, monotonous muscle memory movement the whole time, yeah. You know, they can do those jobs. They can do the McDonald's. You know, they can do
Yeah.
the Taco Bells. You know what I'm saying? They might even put their money together and open up their own Del Taco. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen this. Like, I'll be honest, I haven't seen this in Ohio. I mean, where we're at.
Yeah, but of course, yeah, not where we're at, but of course, in the bigger cities, yeah, we'd be naive to think that that there haven't been an influx of migrants to those cities that have just recently crossed the border or even made their way up there, up to Ohio. Now, it takes some time to get to Ohio, I'm sure, if you're a migrant, whether you're on foot, bike, motorcycle, moped, or big moving bus.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, these immigrants that are crossing the border, they basically want to live in a warm climate state because they're from a warm climate state. I don't think they're going to go to Minnesota. I don't think they're going to go to these northern states like Maine or, you know what I mean. They're going to probably stay geographically.
If they're
close.
murderers and such, I don't see why they wouldn't even try to make it to Canada. They'd be like, fuck it, get me as far away as possible. I don't care what the weather look like. Just get me far away from being prosecuted.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Ohio, I think is where we're at is pretty good in terms of overall, like even though the Democrats are controlling power in America, I mean our gasoline price is $3.25.
It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. What I would love a mean tweet right now.
A mean tweet.
Yeah, mean tweeting $1.75 gas. Just saying. I know people mean tweets. I'm missing mean tweets and $1.75 gas.
Yeah, I'm missing. Well, I mean, if it was like around $2.25, you know, no more than $2.50, I would say.
Yeah, $2.50 is good.
Yeah.
I can live with $2.50.
Yeah.
But after $2.50, like, you know, and I don't want to have to do $2.50. But I understand.
Other states, the gasoline is like in the 4s and 5s, I think.
Absolutely. And across seas, you're going to pay by the liter. And when you do the math, they're paying 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah, I mean, and food prices have gone up too.
Ridiculous.
Like meat prices are
Meat prices are ridiculous.
they're almost double of like 4 years ago.
Mm.
I mean, roast beef is like what? It's over $10 a pound. I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and the farmers that are raising these cattle to be slaughtered for our deliciousness is not getting paid. They are not getting paid like they should for their cattle.
Yeah.
You know, the butchers are getting more money. I mean, of course, the butchers are supposed to make a little more money, but it's just it don't look right when you look at the paper. What you're selling a cow for $1,200, but that butcher goes and makes $8,900. $8,900. You know what I'm saying? $9,000 off of a cow that they had to bought for like $1,200.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at like real estate, the housing market or the automobile industry.
Houses ridiculous, stucco up. You know what I'm saying? Drywall
Materials,
up.
yeah, the materials.
You know what I'm saying? Wood, you already know.
Yeah. What about auto prices? Have they gone up?
You know what?
Used
I was
cars?
just in the store the other day buying a breaker bar, and shout out to the homegirl that sold me my goods. I bought a breaker bar and it was $25, so that was like the 24-inch or something. I don't know.
What were they?
I mean, I don't think they. I don't think that was
15?
about. Yeah,
About 15 before.
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, batteries. I mean, we'd have to look at batteries because batteries use, they use these chemicals, like lithium, right? Like that's probably going up a lot.
Oh, absolutely. The thing that's in high demand right now are batteries that will supply power for electric cars.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's going to electric.
Everything's going to electric. People trying to go with that green.
Yeah.
And
Well, they're trying to go. I think they're trying to do solar more too.
solar, yeah.
Solar panels and which I don't really object to solar panels.
Not at all. I was told that, the shelf life of them aren't that well. They haven't made them good enough for inclement weather.
Yeah.
They have them and they're there and they got functional ones, but
Like
the
cloudy
longevity,
weather.
like that is if you were to purchase something of a solar panel
Yeah.
in a large, mass, you're gonna want a warranty on it.
Yeah, because you have to have sun and you have to have consistent sun. Like here, it's cloudy a lot in November, December.
Yeah.
Because it's colder.
Mhm.
So the solar panels aren't going to work as well, But I mean, they are improving them all. I mean, the technology is getting better and better with them. I know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a lot of the government stuff, the political stuff. And we talk about religion, politics, and sports here.
Yeah.
So the sports world is interesting, though, I find, because we have all 4 sports going on now.
Yeah,
at
that's
one
crazy.
time.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
So the hockey fans are happy. The basketball NBA fans are happy.
NFL.
The NFL, oh my gosh, nobody really. I don't think anybody really. It seems like the NFL is the most popular to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like
Absolutely.
people are tuned in week by week of the NFL.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I see.
Yeah. Baseball. Did we say baseball?
Baseball is really down in the World Series.
Yeah, and that's still good because that's still another week. That's still another week of sports.
Yeah, people like people like baseball, like the World Series, and they
Yeah.
follow it. I think.
Yeah. Who you got?
Well, it's a good series so far. Atlanta Braves versus
Houston.
Houston Astros.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, they used to call the Houston Astros the Houston Lastros because they were in last place a lot.
Yeah, and then a couple years ago they was calling them the Houston Hustlers because they cheated.
Well, 2017 they won the World Series.
Yeah.
And I think they were in the World Series in 2019. And then now.
Did they? They won that much?
They were in 2019. And this is their 3rd World Series in 4 or 5 years, so
Man, shout out to H-Town.
So yeah, they're turning out to be a good major league ball team. But
Crime is up there.
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves haven't been in the World Series for.
No, it's empty. I need a new one.
Oh. The Atlanta Braves haven't been in the World Series since the '80s.
Yeah, man. Back what with? No, it was after that. It was the '90s. Did they make it in the '90s with Dave Justice and?
You're right.
And John Smoltz and wasn't there a Maddox? Tom Glavine. There wasn't there a Maddox too?
Yeah, Maddox. I can't think of his first name.
Greg Maddox.
Greg Maddox. They had a good pitching staff.
See, I'm good. I'm pretty good at this.
You say you had those baseball cards.
No, yeah, well, I might. I might have. I still might got them.
From the 90s. You were a 90s probably baseball card collector.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. I got people with baseball cards for sale too. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
Guy
Some
needs
old
money.
school.
We got to get this guy his 500, whatever he needs to get his CDL license.
Yeah, man. Why don't you help your boy out so I can get my Twix card, fingerprints, shit like that, man? Go ahead and donate to the Cash App, man. I'm trying to take care of all that Monday morning, man. It's a limited time only before they start changing rules and regulations around.
Truck
And I'm
driver's a
trying to
good
jump
job.
on it.
That's a good job, truck driver.
Yeah, man. CDLA, that's what I got. Yeah, man. So I'm trying to get through it, man. I'm trying to get through it and handle these couple little things, man. If you want to show support to your boy, Cash App me, DelTha510. There's a money sign in front of it. Cash App your boy so I can pay for my Twix. All right, heavy is the crowd, y'all. Here with my main man, George, the Theologian.
The crowd is heavy.
And we're talking about Halloween and sports and all other things in between, a little bit of politics. But
Well, the NFL's we haven't really delved into the NFL. Let's delve a little bit into the NFL on Halloween weekend. So we've got kind of this.
we got all these sports going on.
Yeah, but in the NFL, it's interesting.
You didn't mention college.
College? No, I think it's a little too early for college.
No, it's for colleges. College football is on right. Ohio State and Penn State played.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think it was 7-0 last time I checked. But go ahead.
Ohio State's kind of got a younger. Don't they have kind of a younger team this year? Like in terms of quarterback and offense.
Yeah, he's a freshman, I believe.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I'm not an expert on Ohio State, but I know there's.
Nor am I. I think his name might be Shields.
I think Pitt had. By the way, I think Pitt over the river has a good team. This
man.
year, Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Pitt University.
I agree.
I think Penn State's got 2 losses, if I'm not mistaken.
Fields. No, it's Fields, not Shields.
Justin Fields, yeah. Well, he's on the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. That's what it was.
He's quarterbacking the Chicago Bears. He was.
I'm trying to think of was it Shroud? Who's the quarterback for Ohio State right now? The freshman.
That's a good question. That is a good question.
I was like Shroud or something. I don't know.
Justin Fields was, of course, last year's Ohio State quarterback.
Yes.
And now he's a good quarterback. He's quarterbacking the Bears.
It's going to take him some time.
Yeah.
These other elder quarterbacks are going to have to fall off before he steps up. Because as long as Ben, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying, are in the game.
Yeah. What I like seeing now in the NFL, and I'm wondering if you all out there are seeing the same thing, is these young quarterbacks are developing.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Burrows.
Quickly.
For Cincinnati. I mean,
Quickly.
this is his second year, and the guy is really looking good.
Yeah.
And they used to call the Cincinnati Bengals the Cincinnati Bungles.
Yeah.
They couldn't win anything.
Yeah.
But they're winning. They're winning games. They have an offense. They have a defense now.
Yeah.
The guy from the LA Chargers. I'm really impressed with this guy. I mean, I look at this guy and I think he's Herbert. Okay, I think he's like one of the most talented quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, he's 6'6", and he's just an outstanding quarterback. My Patriots. Well, the guy is a rookie, but he's doing okay. Mac Jones.
Jones, yeah, he'll be all right. He's with
I think he's gonna
Belichick's
be
system,
okay.
and he's going to be okay because they like to
Yeah.
protect the quarterback.
Yeah, I think he'll be good. I think it was a good decision that they made him the number one, the starting quarterback over Cam Newton, because I think they needed to make a change there.
Absolutely.
I'm very surprised no one's picked up Cam though. He still is a good quarterback. He can throw the ball. He's a good quarterback.
I agree.
We'll see. We'll see. The trade deadline is coming up, so somebody might pick up Cam Newton. We'll see.
You were saying he was real beat up, man, and
He's really been beat
I
up.
agree because he has been beaten up over all the years, and I don't know what's going on. If there was just something going on, like because here. He was successful in Carolina. And, things had to change there. So he moved on. Maybe the offensive scheme, just because Belichick won all those rings and has all this accomplishment, doesn't mean that the system that he has is conducive to Cam's success.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a total Belichick fan. In fact,
But if that was the case, why wouldn't he draft him?
Yeah.
Or why would he draft him?
Well, I don't think the Patriots really had a quarterback last year, and they had really no. They took a chance because he was a veteran.
Yeah.
Remember, he went to a Super Bowl. I mean, That's not like, small potatoes.
Right.
So I think Belichick made a, chanced it. He made a decision based on his experience, and that's why he chose him. But I mean, I would like to see the offensive coordinator take over the Patriots. Josh
His son?
McDaniels.
Oh.
No, Josh McDaniels. I would like to see the Patriots have kind of a new regime.
Yeah.
I don't think Belichick and his son is the answer for the Patriots. I just don't. I think it's a new.
They're the ending. I think they're the ending,
Yeah,
not the.
I think it's an ending, and I think we need to start with a new. I mean, Josh McDaniels is a smart guy. He took Denver to the playoffs when they had Tim Tebow. Okay, but I mean, I think Josh McDaniels is would be a good coach, and I'm sure he would hire somebody, as experts in the defensive part.
Yeah, because he's definitely an offensive genius.
He's an offensive genius. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think he's working well with Mac Jones. I like this Mac Jones guy, by the way, from Alabama. That's our quarterback.
But you know what? You're gonna like any quarterback that got an offensive line that protects you.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
what
that's
Cincinnati has now.
Yeah, and that's something that I've seen, a lot from, the New England organization over all these years.
Oh,
People
yeah,
get
yeah.
sacked. That's part of the game. But I'm saying they invest in making sure that their quarterback is protected. And I think you can make it with a mid-level quarterback easily if you,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Brady always had the protection in New England.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at guys like Carson Palmer that didn't have protection. A lot of the New York Jets quarterbacks didn't have protection, and like Sanchez, all those guys. It's a shame, really. You got to build. I think you're right. You got to build your team on the line.
Yeah, and I don't know why they don't do that.
And that's
linemen are some of the lowest paid individuals.
Yeah, and that's what Madden, believed in. Madden.
Yeah, John Madden.
John Madden, he believed in a real strong line, both offense and defense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it starts. You win on the line. And really the Chiefs now. I mean, I don't know if it's because of injuries, but I mean, I think their line is in bad shape.
Yeah, I think it's not only their line, but the fact is this year they don't have any defense. Now, last year they didn't have any defense. They just had a super powered offense.
Yeah.
But over the offseason, people were able to study that. The real geeks of the game was studying that and, figured out the patterns.
Yeah, so if we look at a few teams, like maybe 5 or 6 teams that have a chance in the AFC, who would you say? I mean, I'm looking at
AFC?
Yeah, the American Football Conference. I mean, I'm looking at about 5 or 6 teams that have a good chance. What about you?
3.
You think 3?
Yep.
See, I'm looking at your Brownies. I think your Brownies are going to turn it around. The Cleveland Browns.
Only if that offensive line, we got an offensive lineman that's injured, but of course this far deep in the season, who isn't injured?
Right.
We got somebody injured on that line, and Baker is injured, and they're talking about he might play next week, but he shouldn't play. I don't think he should play. He just should just sit out, let Case Keenum do his thing.
Yeah. Case can win games.
Yeah, Case can win games. I'm just not going to put him in the playoffs.
Right. Don't put him in the play. But he won the other night, at least against the Broncos. They play the Broncos.
Yeah.
At least they won that game. They needed that win.
And Chubb's beat up. I think Kareem Hunt is out for a while.
Yeah.
You got to. Case Keenum will win you games.
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And let Baker get healthy and come back in the playoffs. Not next year, but they said, I guess the surgery could be season ending, So.
But Baker was really one game from the Super Bowl, right?
If he'd have he beat the Chiefs, and then who they play that week after that, they got beat.
Oh, they beat the Steelers, didn't they?
They beat the Steelers and lost it. No, they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs because that was the game that they knocked Patrick Mahomes out.
You mean last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Last year. I'm talking about last year.
I thought the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl against Tampa.
Were they?
Last year. Yeah, and Brady beat them.
Okay, it must have been the Chiefs that beat the Browns in. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But anyway,
they beat the Steelers. Okay.
Yeah, they beat the Steelers. But I mean, the Browns have come a long way. Let's face it. In like 3 years, the Browns have come a long way.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think we have to at least say they've got a good shot. Tennessee's got a good shot. Buffalo's got a good shot.
Yeah. Only thing I'm worried about Tannehill, because when you put 8 in the box and you're able to minimalize Derrick Henry,
Yeah.
you have to worry about Tannehill trying to throw down the field. Like, if the Titans are up, they're in good shape.
Yeah.
But if they're not, just like the Rams, when the Rams are up at halftime,
Yeah.
they're like, it's a solid lock.
Yeah.
Same with the Titans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when they're down by points and they had to start with a 5 spread or start passing it 3 out of 4 times, like, Tannehill isn't tested, especially in the playoffs in inclement weather.
Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's a bull. I mean, he's probably the best back.
He's the best back
in
the league.
He's a LeBron James. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah, he's huge.
And so I like Tennessee. I mean, they might be the big surprise.
And he's fast.
Yeah. And the Billy Goats, the Buffalo Bills, they'll be contending as usual. They'll definitely win that division.
Definitely the Bills. Definitely the Bills.
And then the last team is the last 2 teams are Cincinnati and the Ravens. But I mean, Cincinnati really hasn't been tested enough. I mean, their schedule's not going to be as hard because they didn't make the playoffs last year. So
that fast, how the AFC North turned into, the competitive, the top notch.
Yeah. But what's interesting is the Ravens really can be beaten now. I mean, by
it
some
seems like
teams that they would never expect to be beaten by.
Well, they figure out the strategy that Lamar Odom can only throw in between the hash lines.
Yeah.
And when you start doing when you start making him, throw outside of a straight line, then that's the problem.
See, I've never really, I mean, honestly, and I know people probably disagree with me, but the NFL, I've never really been impressed with the pistol offense, the running offense. I mean, look what happened to Cam Newton. I mean, I'm just not impressed with it. And I see Baltimore really kind of like doing the same thing.
The pistol's not the same as the Wildcat, though, right?
Well, no, but I mean, people are catching on to these running quarterbacks, though. Even the option play, that the Eagles used in the Super Bowl. I mean, they're catching on to these.
Yeah.
These play, this game scheme now.
Yeah.
Because they know if a guy can run, they're gonna, look what happened to Russell Wilson. I mean, all these schemes, they're
Russell Wilson is not having a good year.
No, and I guess, well, he's injured, but I mean, no quarterback probably can have a good year every year.
Right.
I mean, even Brady got injured, one or twice.
Right, but that was early in his career.
Early in his career. Yeah, and the NFC. I mean, Tampa's going to be back. I mean, I kind of have a feel. It's just a feeling. I don't think they're going to get to the Super Bowl, but
who can really beat Tampa out? Tom Brady seems to have it all figured out right now.
But Green Bay, I think Green Bay has a shot.
Green Bay is really good. Aaron Rodgers is really good.
Rodgers is still a professional. He's still he tries. He plays his heart out. You can't count Green Bay out. I mean, look what he did the other night. I mean, they were very fortunate that the Cardinals made a big mistake at the last play.
Yeah.
Throwing that interception. But, I mean, Green Bay still is – I mean, they were on the road. They still won. So, you got to give them credit. The Rams, who knows? The Rams got a good organization.
Yeah. That's a good switch around. What about that Tom Gruden stuff? How you feel about that in Las Vegas and him getting canned?
I don't
over emails that were released that he sent back before he was even a coach.
I don't think he should have got canned. And his own management did it.
His own management did it. What you mean?
Well, I think Davis approved it. The owner, not Al Davis, the son owns the team now. I forget his first name.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he went along with it prematurely. I think Davis now is kind of wanting. He wants all the documents. He wants, and I think Gruden got a bad. Gruden is kind of a. When you watch Gruden, he's kind of an attention getter by what he says. People like to laugh at what he says.
Well, I mean, he fit that nice mold of they called him Chucky.
Yeah, he had like strong opinions, stereotype opinions.
Ah, yeah, strong opinions.
That you would consider racist, and you don't want to use that kind of language.
Yeah, but you can, but I didn't know calling somebody tire lips can get you canned. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he should have been canned. I think they should have they could have reprimanded him in a different way.
Find him?
They could have fined him, but I don't think he should have lost his job. He's not going to be able to do anything now. They won't let him. Nobody's going to hire him to announce.
I would hate for my emails to surface from 10 years ago to try to stop me from getting a job now.
And I think that's a privacy issue. I think you're going into someone's privacy. I don't like that. I just think that's,
Yeah.
just because somebody says something, or maybe they have a bad day or whatever, and they throw this stuff out. I mean, and he never thought in a million years probably that nobody would see those emails.
Right.
Emails should be private. I mean, it's kind of like privacy to me.
Yeah. Hey, you know what that sound is? That sound means it's time for the word of the day. So we're going to go to a quick commercial and go to the word of the day.
Quick commercial, word of the day.
Yeah, we're right back at you with the word of the day. I want to thank all y'all for tuning in. Heavy is the crowd, y'all. The word of the day. We got the word of the day. It's sepulchral. Sepulchral. And sepulchral means proper to or suggestive of a tomb. Proper to or suggestive of a tomb. Funeral or dismal. Or dismal.
You got another can opener here?
Oh, can opener. I thought you wanted some. Yeah. Try some of these harvest snacks. This show was brought to you in part by Harvest
They
Snacks.
can see us now.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah, we'll turn it right back off. Now
They
now
can't
you
hear
see
us.
me, now I don't. No, they can hear us now. They can hear me now.
But not me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Yep.
These look like French fries.
Yeah, they're delicious. They're absolutely delicious. Heaviest crowd, y'all. Sepulchral. That means proper to or suggestive of a tomb. I guess that's a fitting term to use for
Aren't you?
yeah, right? Fire, right?
These are good. Yeah. Green pea. Green pea. Snackers. Wow.
Get you some, help yourself.
Gotta wash them down now.
Salute, my friend.
Halloweeny.
Halloween. So I think that's a fitting term for a Halloween. Sepulchral. Proper to or suggestive of a tomb.
Put on the earphone.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for round 2. Second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to make better eating decisions along my way, and I came across these things, and I was like, you know what? I like green beans. You know?
Yeah. Well, these are peas. Green peas. It says green peas.
Yeah, green peas. That's what I meant to say. Green peas.
Yeah. I think peas taste better, though, than string beans for me. Unless the string beans are like...
String beans is good.
unless the string bean casserole. I like that.
You gotta have a Chinese restaurant make you string beans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how we doing out there?
Yeah, y'all leave something in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button.
We're live. We're live and alive on Halloween Eve.
Yeah. Support the movement. DelTha510 is the cash app.
DelTha510.
Praise the Lord. Pass the plate. So what about did we talk about that Alec Baldwin situation yet?
Oh my. Well,
Alex Baldwin. Go ahead.
of course, it's a tragic situation, and just like the other situation, the boyfriend, girlfriend, the girlfriend was strangled out in Wyoming. You know, same thing.
Oh, the Gabby Petito situation.
You know, both are tragic in the news.
Mm-hmm.
And they found the boyfriend's remains.
Yeah.
Looks like he was eaten by an alligator, maybe.
That fast? I mean, yeah, that
Well, he
fast.
could have been sleeping. He could have been sleeping there, and those things are all over the place in that park.
But out of all the places to camp out, it would have to be there.
Well, and I mean, he probably...
It was a swamp.
He was on the run. The guy was on the run, and he's trying to escape, basically, and go to places where they don't think they'll go, which is probably swampland. And maybe he was confident that he could navigate the swampland, the geography there.
And fell asleep and got ate by.
But he could have camped out, fell asleep, and that's tragic. It's all tragic. I mean, it's all tragic.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's something fishy about that, though. You know, the parents are worth $5 million. That don't mean nothing just because they got money. But they had friends in the authority system, like whether it be the district attorney or somebody in some FBI stuff. They knew some people. They knew some higher ups that knew how to erase shit.
but I mean, the girl. I mean, it looks like a good couple, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
It's like the girl looked really happy.
But did he look like a murderer to you?
Well, the only thing I know about is he didn't look like a murderer, but they were into horror stuff, horror movie. They were into like a lot of horror stories, and
Right.
I mean, how far does that go? I mean, some of that stuff.
Yeah, like when you're always watching, if you always watch CSI and detective movies and First 48.
I mean, dark stuff. It's dark. It's
It's just like when people watch Jerry Springer all day long.
oh.
That makes you dumber. As entertaining as it may sound, it makes you dumber.
I mean, people want to watch violence. I don't know. I mean,
Because train wrecks is an attractive thing that releases serotonin in our brains.
Yeah. What about okay? So the other story is the Alec Baldwin story,
Yeah.
and I mean that's really tragic. I mean, I know a lot of the conservatives hate Alec Baldwin. They don't like him.
Well, because he was against guns.
Yeah, but I mean,
He even had something made that was talking about no rifle association.
yeah, I mean they're trying to condemn the guy, and he's
And he was also a Trump actor.
yeah he was a sad,
Anything to get at Trump.
yeah he was a,
They didn't want to see no Trump anywhere. They took him off of social media and they took away his actors.
yeah, but I mean Alec Baldwin definitely is your anti-conservative human being, liberal Democrat, and now they're branding him as the evil killer. I don't think that's totally right. I do think that he could have been more responsible with the revolver, but I don't think he's going to go to jail for that. I really don't.
His paper's too long. His paper's too long for that, but his paper's not too long for him to pay a hefty fine in a civil suit.
I mean, it's not like he did it deliberately.
So it's involuntary. I get that, but you're not going to charge him with involuntary manslaughter. That's what I said. You're going to take him to court.
Yeah.
On the civil side.
Yeah, on the civil side. So yeah, what's going to happen is he's going to pay X amount of dollars, okay, which he has, okay. But will this movie come out? That's what I'm wondering. Is the movie still going to be? Usually they do finish movies even if they've had accidents. Accidents of like death, accidents of death. They usually finish these movies.
Well, it all depends on how. Okay, because here's the thing. He was a director. He was the producer, director, all that. He's the big wig and the person that's overseeing the paychecks that are handed out to the people around him. Yeah. And the union people that he had, prop masters and all that, they were complaining about unsafe conditions. So they walked off set prior to this incident happening. And he ended up getting a whole bunch of non-union workers in there. Everybody that complains about, oh, I don't need a helmet, I don't need a... See what happens when you don't follow, those extra strict guidelines? Shit like this happens. Now, they said they found like 500 rounds of ammunition on set. Why? Why you need that much?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of movie.
It wasn't a prop gun. It was like a Western type thing, and it wasn't a prop gun. People want to label things like a prop gun, like because it's a prop gun. It wasn't real. No, that was a real gun. They had blanks in it.
Yeah, it's supposed to have blanks, right?
Right.
Yeah, it didn't have
But
blanks.
prop guns are shaped differently.
Oh, okay. So they didn't want to use a prop gun. See, I haven't read all the details on this case, but
No, Alex Baldwin was cutting corners because he was pressured to get something done before a certain time. That's all that is. That's just pressure.
Yeah.
That's just pressure. He wanted to get stuff done. He was like, man, I pay all these people to oversee this. Somebody else figure this out. Yeah. I pay y'all to figure this out. Well, look what happened. You're paying other people to oversee some shit, and they didn't like the way things was going, and whatever happened, they walk off set. You try to implement some new folks real quick, and what happens? They put a gun in your hand that you kill a woman with. Rest in peace to that lady. I think her name was Hutchins.
Young photographer.
Cinematographer. Cinematographer.
Camera.
Cinematographer, yeah. That's bigger than just photographer. Now.
Yeah, and that's just tragic to me. It's all tragic. I mean.
What's your thoughts about that?
Well, to me, it's hard to move on from that. Like, just have this movie, like, for money, for business.
Yeah, you would just like wrap it up. You just call, and maybe you could sell the or I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to shoot a movie right now.
Are you? Yeah. I wonder how the new James Bond movie is. Is that out yet? New James, or is it coming out?
Good question.
Because I'm a
James Bond movie.
I'm a James Bond fan. I've watched most of those movies growing up. 007.
Who was the best? Yeah, there's a new one out. There's a new one coming out or something like that.
Yeah,
Who's the best James
I've
Bond?
seen the previews. I just don't know if it's out yet. Who's the best Bond?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You got Daniel Craig, Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, and Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, I know Sean Connery was the first. And then...
oh, yeah, I forgot about Sean Connery. George Lazenby.
He was...
And David Niven.
David Niven played James Bond?
Mm-hmm.
Roger Moore was, I think, after Sean Connery. I like Pierce. I think Pierce was my favorite.
Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah.
He was a good one.
I like Pierce. I like Dalton, too. Dalton was good. Timothy Dalton? Is that his name? Timothy Dalton?
David Niven turned down in favor of Connery, later played Bond in the 1967 parody Casino Royale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was kind of a... No, Sean Connery was good, too. He was kind of like the guy that started him, that I saw. Goldfinger, Diamonds Forever, Russia with Love. He might have made 4 or 5, I don't know. I think Roger Moore made a lot. Man, you're really breaking out the football snacks. You're not going to have any for game day tomorrow.
That'll be all right. We'll get some more. Go ahead, get you some.
But, yeah, anyway. I'll have to tune in.
Daniel Craig, he's dope.
What?
That's the latest Bond.
Yeah, Craig has been pretty good, I think.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it right.
It takes them a long time to make these movies, by the way, the 007s.
Yeah.
They spent a couple years.
I heard there's a new Matrix coming out.
Oh, really?
What you know about that?
Really nothing.
Nothing. Me either. Me either.
They've made how many Matrix, though? 3? I'm going to try these.
Solid cashews.
Oh, wow.
Matrix, I think there's 3, and then they had like a cartoon one.
Oh, okay. Animated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I opened up the back.
I like movies. I really like movies a lot.
Yeah. What's the last movie you watched? Excuse me.
I have to think about that one.
What? If you like movies so much.
Oh, yeah, at the movie theater, you mean?
Oh, movie? No. I was saying what was the last movie?
Oh. I forget titles a lot. That's the problem. I watch movies but forget titles. Oh,
Atari, like the video game system,
Well, I think it's
loosely based on it.
an old movie. Hetari or something. John Wayne was in it.
Atari.
Yeah, takes place in Africa. Because I have on my smart TV. I have Pluto, and Pluto has all the Paramount movies. And some of them are really good. A lot of them are old. Donovan's Reeve.
Atari's based as a African-based group of hunters. Wild African animals for zoos.
Yeah.
They were trapping wild African animals for zoos.
I mean, if you're an animal lover, that really...
It really strikes a chord with them.
Yeah, they wouldn't have that movie today.
Like, would it offend PETA?
Oh, definitely. You know what offends PETA now? I was reading.
Tie-dyeing your cat.
No, the word bullpen.
Bullpen?
Baseball. They're trying to change the word bullpen for baseball to another name.
What do you want to call them? What's wrong with that?
The bullpen is for the relief pitchers.
Yeah.
I don't know how it ever got started to be bullpen. I'm not, These are
Almonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't hit the same as them cashews do.
Cashews are,
Fire.
for me, they're the best.
Yeah.
Cashews are the best. That's like lobster versus crab.
When was the last time you had lobster?
A couple of years at least.
Yep.
Well, I've had lobster soup.
Lobster soup.
Lobster bisque. They call it bisque.
Bisque.
So
Oh,
it's
okay.
really interesting. The only bisque you have is lobster. Like everything else is called soup, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Bisque is it's kind of like this etiquette word. I'm having lobster bisque. I'm not having beef barley soup. I'm having lobster bisque. Or is it barf barley soup? I don't know. I used to work at a kind of like a I was kind of like young as a kid. I used to work like an Elby's, only it was called Friendly's Ice Cream Shop.
Okay. But it was like Elby's.
Yeah, we had soups, sandwiches, milkshakes, sundaes, ice cream cones. Anyway, we used to call the soup, like if it was beef barley, we used to call it barf barley.
Barf.
We were like kids. Like Mad Magazine. You know how Mad Magazine used to...
Mad Magazine was dope.
They'd make fun of everything. We were kind of like Mad Magazine people. only we,
They're not hitting like the cashews.
yeah. So anyway, barf barley soup was one of our favorite changes. But
What's your favorite soup?
favorite soup?
Oh no, you already told me clam chowder.
Yeah, I like clam chowder. I like lobster bisque. I like bean with bacon.
Bean with bacon.
That's good soup. Bean with bacon. You like bean
No.
with bacon?
I mean, there's beans and there's bacon in Bush's baked beans.
I know,
baked
but
beans.
the soup tastes different.
Bean soup.
Well, there's barbecue in baked beans.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no barbecue in navy. There's no barbecue in bean with bacon soup. So I do like bean with bacon soup.
I like all kinds of beans.
Yeah, they're good for you. I mean, this is protein right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Instant protein from the ground.
From the ground, just like marijuana.
Yeah, that's another one. Marijuana. Well, you could actually.
What's your stance on marijuana?
Well, I'm pro marijuana. I think it has benefits, and you don't have to smoke it. You could ingest it. I mean, you could eat it in different products. I mean, even candy.
Candy, yeah. I went to Denver, and when I went to Denver, a girl hopped out of her car right in front of the store as soon as they opened up. As soon as the store opened up, she hopped out of her car, had a stroller in there and everything, so she had kids with her, hopped in there, and came out with like 2 lollipops.
Wow.
Hey, you know what was in them lollipops. I mean, come on now. You was in that store, but
Well, I know they have gummy.
gummies are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they legalized it, though, recreationally, so any store could sell.
Just take it off of a federal, Schedule 1.
Like these smoke shops. I wish they could sell it.
It'd be a lot more robberies, man. You got to understand the crime that goes down in bigger cities.
Yeah. Eventually, though, it'll be widespread, common.
What's that crime? It already is.
Marijuana.
Oh, well, half of the country it's already legalized in half the country.
I mean, grocery stores will sell cigars. I mean, they're gonna,
Yeah, but at what point is that going to be too watered down?
I mean, Walmart's gonna be selling it pretty soon.
You think?
Yeah,
But
man, the government loves Walmart. I don't know why. Why does the government love Walmart? Like they were the only one of the few stores open during COVID-19 when everything else was closed.
They're still closed early, but
The guy with the corner, whatever, grocery store couldn't open, but Walmart could.
they just had to close early. I sure do miss 24-hour Walmart.
Yeah.
But I think it works better for the people, though. The people that got to work overnight and got to deal with people. The last thing you want to do is deal with somebody who's looking for a certain brand of cereal at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what a sugar? Look in the cereal aisle, bitch.
I mean, if you don't know what kind of cereal,
Yeah, but, people will be. You'll find more.
I mean, I had a cereal IQ when I was about 5 or 6 years old, I think.
I think you'll find more incoherent people per capita, at the witch's hour than you would at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Hey, make sure you like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do around here. Share, bear, care.
Share, bear, care. So our next holiday will be Thanksgiving. So we'll have to have a Thanksgiving special because, I like to do the holiday specials.
Yeah, he does.
Kind of like Andy Williams or Dean Martin. We do the holiday specials.
Holiday specials. And we're going to break bread. We'll have some cornbread. We'll have some greens. And we'll have some mac and cheese. You like greens?
Greens? Depends what kind of greens we got.
Collard greens.
Not
Not out the can. Not turnip out the can.
I could probably sample some greens, as you say, collard greens, but I mean, that wasn't usually on my dinner table growing up. But I mean, that seems to be a cultural thing.
Yeah, would you have green bean casserole?
String beans, broccoli. Here's the greens I had: string beans, broccoli, peas. Okay. What else was green? Lettuce.
Lettuce.
But that's about it. I wasn't raised on collard greens. I think that's a southern kind of. Is that a southern culture thing?
I think so, but
It's
it
like
made it.
sweet tea. People they love sweet tea. I said, what is sweet tea? I mean, is it iced tea? What is it? I mean, it's sweeter than iced tea.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I know what iced tea is. You could have it with sugar or lemon or no sugar.
yeah. See, that's the difference between iced tea and sweet tea.
But sweet
With
tea's-
sweet tea, you don't have to put sugar in it.
But sweet tea's like lobster bisque. I mean, is that an etiquette? You guys are saying sweet tea like it's an etiquette or something?
No, it's its own entity. Sweet tea is its own entity. When you get iced tea, you can have it with sugar or lemon, right? And a sweet tea, you don't have. All you ask for is lemon.
And sweet tea is from the South, though. It is a Southern.
Why's it got to be from the South?
Here's something I learned.
What came from Canada,
Sweet tea,
eh?
sweet tea is really common in the South. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Florida, all those southern
They
states.
got all kinds of brands of sweet tea down
But
there.
here's something I learned just the other day.
Okay.
The soft drink Dr. Pepper,
Okay.
when it came out in the 50s or 60s,
Uh-huh.
did you know that they would drink that cold and hot? They would actually make it hot as well. The soda, the soda, the pop.
Yeah.
They would actually warm it, and they would drink it like hot chocolate. They'd put lemon in it, though. They would put lemon in it in the soft drink and drink it. Hot. Like I said, they would drink it hot. As well as
Warm
cold.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and cold. It was now Dr. Pepper comes from Texas. That's where it came from.
Okay.
That's where the headquarters are, San Antonio, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they used to drink it cold and hot. I just found this out the other day,
Yeah.
and I've seen commercials of it.
So hold on, no. What do they put in the Dr. Pepper? You said when it's warm.
Well, they kind of heat it and they put it like in a punch bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But they would put lemons with it. They use lemons in the Dr. Pepper. I saw it with lemons. Like I saw some old commercials. I like watching. Sometimes I like watching old commercials on YouTube.
Man, I am not drinking no warm soda unless I'm hungover and I need a sip of something real quick. But even still, I wouldn't even do that. I couldn't imagine what warm soda isn't pleasant.
Warm soda, yeah. Well, that is warm soda, that's for sure.
It-
I never had any, by the way, but
Oh,
man, I'm really killing these cashews, boy.
oh yeah, man. That's what they're there for. It's nutritional snacks.
What makes cashews taste so good?
Salt.
Salt. You can get them non-salted. Everybody's watching us eat.
Yeah. And hopefully we will promote a better eating lifestyle.
Yeah.
We drink Corona on here and eat green pea snack crisps.
Corona.
Shout out to all my people that's drinking Corona right now.
Corona.
Corona. So theologically.
Theologically, let's get into some theology. Not philosophy, theology. Theology is the queen of the sciences.
Is it?
Yeah. Theology is considered the queen of the sciences.
Why so? But the queen on a chessboard can move anywhere.
Yeah, but the king is worth more than the queen on the chessboard, right? The king.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get the king, you win the game. The queen, the queen can move all over, but the king, you're right. The king can only move one spot, right?
Right. One spot at a time in any direction. So if theology is the queen, what's the king?
Theology is the queen of sciences, and I can explain that a little bit because you had a lot of astronomers, scientists that were pro theology. You know, that were really they were into the stars, they were into the space, they were into the infinity, they were into that, and that's part of theology. You know, what's beyond Earth, what we can't see, the invisible, and we call that the transcendent. The transcendent. We're transcending human beings. Well, you know, biologists would consider us animals. That's okay. That's physical, you know, because you can see the physical. And of course, we're the highest phylum of animals. Remember that word, phylum? That's a good word.
Phylum, pH.
Yeah. Well, pH has to do with acid and alkaline. In terms
No, I
of
was spelling it.
Phylum is PHYLUM. Okay, so you have different phylums in the animal kingdom. Well, anyway, humans are Homo sapiens. Okay, but anyway, to make a long story short, part of us is physical, the visible, and part of us is transcendent. We transcend. We're like oscillating. You know what oscillating means?
Yeah, it's going back and forth like a fan.
Yeah. Like we're part of us is on earth and part of us is transcending. That's why we can kind of like go beyond just like regular logic, like regular, how do I say it? Like, you know how animals go by instinct?
Yeah.
We can go beyond that.
We're beyond instinct. We're ultra instinct.
Yeah, we can go beyond instinct. Probably didn't explain it well, but I mean, we can go beyond that into the invisible. Even if we use our imagination. Imagination is okay because...
So you mean to tell me a kimono dragon doesn't have an imagination?
Not really, no. They basically, they operate on instinct. What they see, hear, their senses, their sensory. See, we're more than sensory. Our sensory is our physical, our visible.
Yeah.
But we also have the invisible, the transcendent. So that's part of theology.
Yeah.
So we're theological beings. Okay, in a way.
Reasoning beings.
We're reasoning beings.
Compassionate beings.
Like we think, believe, and know. Okay, what does an animal do? Does an animal think? Of course. But does an animal believe? I don't think so. Does an animal know? Yeah, an animal knows by instinct. Okay, but you can't teach an animal
Intercession.
Spanish, algebra. You know, you can't teach an animal that.
Right.
You know.
You can't teach an animal Thanksgiving.
No, I mean, you put food before them, they're gonna glom it up. You know, but any animal will. I mean, it's animals are interesting though. I mean, like the chimpanzee's interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
All the monkey genus.
I mean, you know, you can see
genus.
You can train these animals like a chimpanzee to brush his or her teeth. But I mean, they're unique. You know, they walk on four, two arms and legs. You know, they walk differently than us. Well, I think they have there's something about a chimpanzee in their chromosomes.
Or it's just like the 2% that's like 96%
They're
of it.
close to us, but not quite there.
They don't have that evolutionary gene of logic. I mean, it's or not logic, but I guess communication.
Yeah.
It's that 2%. It's that little 2%.
Look up how many chromosomes they have. There's something about the chromosomes. I know that they're not quite there in terms of humans. You'll probably find it right away. Like we have 46. A human being has 46 chromosomes.
How many chromosomes?
23 pair.
A monkey have.
23 pair we have, but and of course the DNA is found in the chromosomes.
They don't even want to answer me.
Is that what do they call that? Siri?
Google.
Siri, are you there, Siri?
Blink.
Siri, are you trick or treating right now?
I'm not getting them.
You know what I miss
What do you miss?
as a kid. Okay, growing up, I watched TV. And they had these entertainment shows on, singers, dancers.
48. They got 48 chromosomes.
Oh, they got 48. Okay. But I miss ventriloquists. I never see ventriloquists.
Oh no, they got one. They got a real good one out there.
Yeah.
I wish I knew his name right offhand, but he got 4 or 5 characters. You ain't seen him yet?
No, I think that's one of the most talented. If you're a
man.
ventriloquist, I think you're one of the most talented
Oh, what's his name? I want to say his name is Paul something.
people because ventriloquy. Is it ventriloquy? The science of the art of ventriloquy.
Jeff Dunham.
It's an art.
Jeff Dunham. You don't know about Jeff Dunham?
No, I don't know anything.
He's probably the most recent one that I could.
But is it a forgotten art though? We don't see a lot of them, do we?
No, not at
Not
all.
as common as
Not
it
at
used
all.
to be. Not as common.
I mean, actually, well, no, no. We do have a lot of puppets. We do have a lot of people playing puppets.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Yeah. Jeff Dunham, though, he does a heck of a job. If you don't know about him, go check him out.
Yeah.
He does big shows. I don't think he has done anything recently. I don't think he's done anything post-COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Post-COVID, yeah.
Yeah, everything he's done is pre-COVID.
Yeah.
In those years following up to, or leading up to.
Yeah.
But Jeff Dunham is the man.
Jeff Dunham. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me.
Yeah, man. Please check it out because he fell into my suggestions one day and I didn't know about him a few years ago, pre-COVID. and I just so happened to find him, and it was.
Yeah.
I was entertained. I was literally entertained. I was like, oh, this dude is like, because it takes more than just being able to control a puppet and keep your mouth shut. Like you gotta keep people engaged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That ventriloquy is such a great art, and kids love ventriloquy. They love ventriloquists.
It's more than an art; it's a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then impressionists, comedians that can act like they can change their voice.
Right.
To famous people
like that dude from Police Academy.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredible art too.
His name I think was Michael Winchell.
Yeah.
He was the one making all them noises and stuff with his mouth and be throwing people off. Yeah.
Frank Calandro, you ever heard of him? I think he.
Mm-mm.
He plays John. He plays a lot of guys. Bart's.
What's his name?
His name is Calandro. Frank Calandro. He does a lot of the sports guys.
Calandro.
Yeah.
Okay, I know a Calandro.
He's on YouTube. I mean, he's the newest one that I know.
I would bring it up, but man, my YouTube and my computer's been acting super slow because of the internet, man.
But growing up, I remember impressionists, ventriloquists, guys that can juggle stuff, like all these.
You got Paul Winchell, Charlie McCarthy. He is a ventriloquist. Edgar Bergen. Terry Fator. David Strassman, Nina Conti, Sherry Lewis, Jay Johnson, Jimmy Nelson, Taylor Mason. Do you remember any of these people?
Sherry Lewis, I think she's deceased, but I mean, I remember her.
Yeah, a lot of them are deceased. Many of them are.
Yeah. I believe she is. I don't know. I'm not going to.
Ray Allen, not to be confused with the guy with the jumper.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Went to UConn.
Ray Allen, 1L.
Yeah.
Jules Vernon. Senor Wenches. Do you know Senor Wenches?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Yeah, YouTube.
But the arts are, they can entertain us. Like, I mean, dancing arts, ballet, that's beautiful stuff,
Yeah, the way people be dancing nowadays is wild, man. There's a lot of jerking and stuff.
You kind of want to see talent, though, right? I mean, you want to see stuff that's hard to do, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's me. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I would love to pull up videos. I would love to pull up dance videos right now that I could show you that will impress you because I have some offhand that we could watch. But my YouTube's acting so whack for some reason.
I was impressed with Michael Jackson. I mean,
he wasn't the first person to moonwalk.
No, I know. I think it was it Gene Kelly or somebody like that?
Somebody like that. James Brown.
Yeah, but I mean, he brought it back though. Let's give him credit.
Mm-hmm.
He brought it back. And he was a phenomenal dancer in other ways too.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
imagine if he was still doing that same dancing shit to this day.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have just as strong of effect? If he was because he was 57 when he passed.
Yeah.
And that was 5. So just imagine he was out there 65 years old trying to do some of that.
Oh no, I don't think he could do it. 65, probably not. I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
He would probably do a move or two.
You can dance. I mean, you can dance. Well, he might have been able to do that.
He was doing that stuff up until he passed at 50.
I shouldn't say that.
I think it was 50.
I think without injuries, you can do it. I mean, remember he had a cane near the end of his life, so.
Yeah, but he was frail too.
Yeah, he was frail. But I mean, Fred Astaire danced, when he was really an elderly man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Gregory Hines.
Yeah.
He tap danced until his end of
tap
days.
dancing is really that's talent. You can do that.
Yeah. Because it's more than just being able to tap dance. It's being able to have your full body function with it. Because I know a lot of good tap dancers, and they can't. I've seen good tap dancers, and they can't control their upper body fluidly. Like when they're dancing with their feet, their hands are straight, like their upper body is stiff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could tap dance their ass off, but their body has no looseness to it, like a freestyle dance. It's just like when people tap dance, like their upper body is just stiff, but their lower body is doing what it's supposed to do, but their upper body is stiff.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How do these guys do breakdancing? They're like an egg and they're rolling around. I don't know how they do that.
It's not hard. You just got to arch your back.
You got to arch your back.
Pause.
But I mean, that's talent to me.
I used to break dance when I was young. I won a talent contest with somebody in Sixth grade. Sixth grade, I want to dance. You know what I'm saying? Me and my
So that
homeboy
was
did.
that was in your generation, that breakdancing.
In my generation and my genes.
And your genes, yeah.
Uh-huh. If I lose 20 pounds, I could probably do it.
But I'm amazed at how they can just crunch their body like that and just go around.
I never did the spinning on my head, and I probably wouldn't do the spinning on my head now because I get some sort of rogue burn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I was always wondering if the floor had to be really waxy or something.
The floor has to be prepped. I'm not going to say it has to be as lubed as, it doesn't have to be as lubed as a bowling alley lane, but, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I was always impressed with breakdancers and how they could move.
Oh, yeah. You remember The Last Dragon with, Who's Your Master? Sure enough. With Johnny, y'all remember that, The Last Dragon?
No, when was that?
That was the 90s, early 90s.
Oh, was it 90s? Okay.
It might have been late 80s. Who's your master? Sure enough. Yeah.
But I mean, breakdancing was in 90s, I think. That was a 90s thing.
Oh, it was the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm saying? 80s. Yeah, it probably fell off probably about the middle 90s. People wasn't really breakdancing no more. You'd catch people doing it here and there in a music video, but it wasn't like such a recreational thing where people you would see, because you could see in the early parts of it when people was loving it so much and trying to be seen, people are out there with VHS camcorders recording people out on the street who's breakdancing on cardboard. Yeah. Now where I grew up, they weren't doing that, but they were still breakdancing of sorts. But yeah.
You know what I miss is I'm really from the American Bandstand generation. I really miss these shows. American Bandstand. You had that other show that came later.
Soul Train.
And those were great shows. Boy, we miss those shows. And American Bandstand. You know how old those kids that were on? They had those dancers were paid, but they were like 15. They were high school age, 15, 16, 17. They weren't like professional dancers.
And that's even more miraculous.
Yeah, I mean, these were kids, and they did such a great job. And of course, it was rock and roll dancing, but I mean, they still did the swing, and they did really some great dancing.
Chubby Checker.
I love watching on YouTube some of the American Bandstand shows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, they had the Chubby Checker dance.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the heck it was called. There was a name for it.
Twist.
The Twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good, and the kids were like really. There was something about them though. They were polished. They were like modest. They were like good innocent kids. Good kids.
You know what?
They dressed up nice and
fashion has constantly evolved, but they didn't have as much fashion available for options as they do now.
Yeah.
Like Pandora's box is open with fashion now. Like everybody's trying to be something that they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I miss that, because I grew up really kind of that way.
Yeah.
Like we did kind of dress up when we went to school, elementary and
back in elementary.
Yeah, and girls wore skirts in high school and in elementary school, dresses and skirts and
skirt.
You really didn't. I'm telling you, when I was in grade school, you didn't really see girls in
the skirts. That was
pants.
too.
No, in pants. You didn't.
Oh.
You saw girls in dresses and skirts and maybe knee socks. Of course, knee socks. But I mean, not.
Yeah.
It was different. Like you knew a male from a female for sure.
Yeah, you can't. You don't nowadays.
There's no unisexual. Whatever they call
Unisex.
it. Yeah.
That stuff's really weird nowadays. I mean, I'm okay with the unisex cologne, but the rest of this stuff is really weirding me out.
Well, there was a definitely line. I'll call it a line of demarcation in the fashion industry when women, girls, teenagers started wearing jeans like guys, blue jeans.
They're quick to tell people. They're quick to tell guys, man up, but don't nobody say woman up. Like, they're quick to tell a guy, stop acting like a girl.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody quick to tell a girl, stop acting like a guy.
Yeah. Well, I really believe the culture today is feminizing males. And we're probably going to get some comments on this, but I really believe the culture feminizes males and masculizes women. And you think about it though. If you folks out there would think about that for a minute,
Instead of getting offended.
And I'm not trying to. I'm just making I'm making an observation. I'm not making a judgment. I'm making an observation that if you look at the career field, okay, a lot of the women bosses tend to be masculine. It seems. I'm not saying all.
And their excuse is because we're in a man's world. Because I'm working in a man's world.
But they've also shown that women are starting to get the effects physically that men would get, like heart attacks,
Beards.
strokes, stuff like that. Beards. The male today, though, is kind of feminine. In a way, he is. He's kind of like weaker. I mean, in some ways, I think it's good for men to show their emotions more. But I mean, how far do you want to go with that? You know what I mean?
I'm all for a man becoming more sensitive, not more feminine.
Yeah. Well, here's
You
my
know,
take.
and that's and women don't know how. I feel like a lot of women don't know how to differentiate that.
Yeah. I mean, my take is this: both genders should be humble. I really believe in humility. Humility is it's kind of like been my word.
Yeah, but humility don't get bitches.
No, but humility means honesty. If you're gonna be if you're humble, you're honest. You're not arrogant.
But there's egotistical people out there that are honest too.
No, but you're gonna express your feelings and thoughts in an honest way, whether you're weak or strong, whether you make a mistake or you're successful. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. But so can egotistical.
Egotistical probably is more like they're always gonna say how good a job they do.
If all they do is a good job.
Nah, they don't always do that. Everybody is successful. Everybody fails at times, and yes, maybe we succeed most of the time, but we fail too.
Yeah,
you know,
we do.
But that's where humility comes in. I think you have to admit that you're humble when you fail. You know, for whatever reason. I mean, it could be a physical thing. You know, whatever it is. Who cares? You know, I just think humility is important. That's all. And I think humility is related to love because I think people will love you more when you're humble, you know? Okay, look at athletes, okay? Look at athletes when they're humble. Don't you like an athlete that comes on during a press conference and says, you know, if he screws up, he screws up, and, you know, he admits that?
Okay, so that's where we got to draw the line with that. Because where I'm going to draw the line with that, George, is because that's only during the interviews. Do you think when they're not on the field, they're talking shit like, yeah, I'm the best wide receiver out this bitch. Can't nobody fuck with me. And when they dudes is on the basketball court, they're saying, hey, I'm the best basketball player out here, and can't another motherfucker out here test me.
I don't think
because if you don't have that mentality, you're not going to make it.
I don't think they're all like that.
And the ones that ain't like that aren't top 25 caliber players. I bet everybody that's a top 25 caliber player in any sport, any major league sport, has that egotistical mentality. Like, no. But as soon as they get on camera, they're like, yeah, I want to thank God. And, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't have done it without my family.
Well, you know, that kid...
But off camera, like, nah, bitch, my daddy gave me these jeans.
No, but that kid from Milwaukee last year, when they won the NBA championship, the focus was on this kid, this Greek, you know.
Yeah, but you know...
And he was humble, though. He was humble about it. I liked it. I thought he did a great job explaining that, you know, he was in there 6 years. It didn't go really well from the beginning. And, you know, call it what you want. He evolved into a great NBA star. I mean, will Milwaukee win it this year? I doubt it. I mean, it's hard to repeat in the NBA of all sports, right?
Okay, so that doesn't discredit him at all.
That doesn't discredit him. But, I mean, I think the fact that he was humble.
Houston did it.
I rooted for him because he was humble. I really did. I liked
Miami did it.
Yeah.
Lakers did it.
James, and I think LeBron James is kind of a humble person to me. I really don't see. I don't really see an ego.
You're not going to see that on camera.
I don't see an egotistical LeBron James. But have I ever, though? I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, but you don't get to see these people in person. On camera, it's a whole different story. Yeah. Just like me and other people have intense conversations outside this camera, and we don't bring it to the camera. And that's a whole That's a whole different person than what we are being on this camera. Not to say we're changed or we're switching it up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that people, there's a level of passion with knowing that you're a great person in a sense. I mean, whether it be athletically, academically, whatever you're succeeding in.
But most professional athletes are taught to respect their opponents. You know that, right? They're taught that because it takes the pressure off them. Did you know that?
Absolutely, but here's the
It
thing.
takes the pressure off them. I think that's humble. I think that's
I
that's
agree.
an example of humility. To me.
I agree, but the best basketball player out there, Jordan, didn't respect his players.
I think he respected the Celtics. I think he did. Like, because he was always getting beat by the Celtics in his early years.
Man, watch that Last Dance. And you tell me how much he respected his opponents.
I thought Michael Jordan was.
I think the only one he respected was Karl Malone.
I thought he was kind of a humble player.
Who? Jordan?
Yeah. I thought he respected his teammates a lot. Scottie Pippen.
Oh, he respected him. So by punching Steve Kerr in the face, that's respecting him.
Well, I think Michael Jordan probably thought remember he had to play the leader. He had to be a leader of that team. He had to be, he had to be looked up to. What does a leader do? A leader has a lot of responsibility because the other players want to follow the leader. They want to, and they have to listen to the leader because of the pressure. So you're going to listen to your leader, like whatever Jordan's telling them to do, how to play offense, how to play defense.
Right.
And they get emotional about it. Look at Larry Bird used to get emotional.
Yeah, but he didn't never punch nobody in the face.
Well, I don't know about the Steve Kerr incident. I'm a little bit.
Oh, it was in the Last
You're
Dance.
telling me for the first time here.
Oh yeah, you didn't know about that? Yeah.
You mean he just punched him recently?
Listen, they were arguing in practice. Kerr got out of line.
Yeah.
And Jordan was like, "Okay, I'm gonna see you as soon as we get in this locker room."
Well, I mean, we don't know the details. I mean, it looks.
Well, Jordan told it.
It looks awful.
Yeah.
Well, some guys, they like it. They get into like a ferocious practice. They do that in the NFL. They have fights in preseason practices.
True.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have a little boxing here and there. I'm not. I mean, fighting isn't like if you have that as a regular habit or addiction, that's not good. If you're angry all the time and fighting, that's
But look at this
definitely
though.
unhealthy.
But let's
Jordan's
talk about
not
this.
bad.
We'll go right into that because you talk about fighting. Let's look at someone like Mike Tyson, who was, he did some nasty, mean stuff, and he was one of the baddest men in the ring. Okay?
Hey, bit that guy's ear.
And he bit that guy here. Holyfield.
Yeah, that was wrong. I mean, that was awful.
You know what I mean?
That was gross.
So, Mike Tyson was such a horrible person throughout his career, and then all that ended, and he changed his life. And now he's one of the most loved. Who really hates Mike Tyson? Does anybody ever hate Mike Tyson?
So he's like a teddy bear now, you're saying?
Besides the fact of him being a teddy bear, he's one of the most respected, one of the most feared, and one of the most loved people ever in. Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't like Mike Tyson.
So he was a woolly mammoth, and now he's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Mike Tyson, I mean, yeah, he did some really, I thought, bad things.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, what about that fight, though? Remember that fight? Do you remember the fight where the guy from Ohio upset him? It was like the odds were like way against this guy from Ohio, and he beat Tyson. Tyson was
nobody from Ohio beat Tyson.
Look it up, man. I forget the guy's name. I mean, the guy that was he was kind of a one-hit wonder boxer.
No, I think. Oh, you talking about Buster Douglas?
I think it was Buster Douglas.
Yeah, Buster Douglas. He was from.
He was from Ohio, though.
Yeah,
Sure.
Man, call me crazy. He was from one of the major cities, whether it's Cleveland. No, he wasn't from Columbus. He was from Cleveland, Cincinnati, or Dayton.
He might not be living now. I don't know.
No, he's still alive.
He's still alive. Yeah, but that was one of the best fights ever. If you watch that fight, the Douglas Tyson fight, that's one of the best fights. I like the fights where the heavyweights get upset. Like I like it when
like Deontay Wilder.
Well, Muhammad Ali when he got upset, I like those fights. Like I'm trying to think of the guy's name.
Man, he didn't get upset. What happened is they put some fucking fraudulent shit in his water and it made him slow.
Really?
Mike Tyson? I mean, Muhammad Ali, yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
The guy broke his jaw, though. Remember that guy? that?
Joe Frazier.
No, it was another guy that broke.
No, Joe Frazier broke his jaw.
Oh, he did?
Yep, and he got up on like a 3 count.
I don't think they poisoned his water in that fight.
Yeah, they did.
Remember, that was the first fight. They had 3 fights, and Frazier won the first. But it was a decision, right? It was 15 round. Frazier was a tough kid for a little guy. I mean, he was.
I'm trying to find out where Buster Douglas was from.
Frazier had a left.
Where's Buster Douglas from?
Joe Frazier had a great left.
Columbus. Everywhere but what I said it's not Columbus, and it ended up being Columbus.
Yeah.
Buster Douglas was from Columbus. But yeah, the whole reason, and Mike Tyson had even said it, the whole reason he lost to Buster Douglas was because of poor training. He was doing drugs, fucking bitches, and staying up all night.
Tyson?
In Japan.
Well, he might have been overconfident, you know?
It was overconfidence with poor training, because when he went over to Japan, he said all he did was indulge in the flesh.
Well, that'll make you lose fights.
Well, he didn't train properly. His wind was gone.
Yeah.
No semen retention.
Well, you need testosterone, and you lose it with that kind of behavior. And your legs aren't, they're not gonna.
And Buster Douglas was on a whole nother level because I think his mom had died.
Well, he was confident. I know that. He trained really hard, and he did it for his mom, right?
Mm-hmm. She had died like right before.
Yeah,
man.
It happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're closing this out here.
Yeah, man. We got some positive stuff that we want to spread to the youth about Halloween, and we'll see you next time around in Thanksgiving. We'll have a nice
Turkey Day. And I just ask people really to think about what some of the stuff we talked about, and to be responsible. Halloween, that's tomorrow, and or All Hallows Eve, Halloween or All Hallows Eve, All Hallows Eve. Sorry, and then we'll get ready for we'll prepare for Thanksgiving. That holiday. We'll come up with some good stuff.
Oh, his coach died when he went to Japan. That's what the comment said.
Who's?
Buster Douglas.
Oh, Buster Douglas.
Yeah, so his coach died before he went to Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, he seemed like a great person, though. When I watched how he trained and close to his family, and he seemed like a humble person. I'm humbled, Mike. I know I'm into this word humble. Tonight, humility, humble. But I think it is a good word for us to maybe think about our characters in that way. Like how do we become like a humble person? Have that character. Because I think it goes a long way in terms of like getting along with people, respecting people, loving people, and being successful. I think success is part of being humble is part of being successful.
Yeah.
But I don't want to preach. I'm not a preacher.
No, you're a theologian. And I want to thank you for appearing on my show. Consistency. We talk about longevity. We're talking about theological stuff.
Yeah. And we got, I'm good. I'm glad we got into the All Hallows Eve.
I can't wait to hear what you got to say about Thanksgiving as well.
I have another. There's another. Thanksgiving is a theological holiday too.
You gonna have that poem?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to dig it out of. The only place I know where it is in my Facebook notes. But I have a hard time retrieving my notes because all my poems are in my notes, and I don't know how to get into my notes on Facebook. They changed a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where it is, though. It's original.
Yeah, we want to hear that poem.
Yeah.
We want to hear that poem.
I know it's definitely on the list.
Yeah, man.
And I wrote another one on a woman. Well, a young woman, college age. I wrote a poem about her. True story, because I met her, and she was from the country Iran. So she's Persian, and she almost died from an overdose of pills. She was so unhappy that she wanted to kill herself.
Was she involved in the college you was at, or what?
I think there was pressure. The religion, they're very, very. These young people are so pressurized with their religion, and sometimes you just can't live up to it. and she was very unhappy. She lived, though. She survived.
Yeah. That's good.
But I wrote a poem about it because she told me how it happened.
Uh-huh.
But she really didn't want to die. I mean, it's kind of like, she was like at this boiling point.
A breaking point.
Breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
Nervous breakdown, whatever. You take these pills, you want to just,
End it all, like the pressure's too much.
Pressure's too much, you want to sleep. And it happens with, clinical depressed people.
Dirt naps.
And, they might not overdose, but I mean, they want to sleep is my point.
Mm-hmm.
But to make a long story short, she lived, and I wrote a poem about it. I'll have to dig that one out too.
Yeah, dig that one out too. But man, if it's deeper than the flower one, then don't, because we want to hear that flower one.
Well,
first.
yeah, the dandelion poem is.
I think they've been waiting for that since the first time we.
Yeah, it's a light poem.
Yeah.
I like deep stuff too. We gotta have some deep stuff, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we dive in the deep end, and then sometimes we just sit.
Well, I mean,
sit in the sun.
I thought what we talked about tonight was deep about the Gabby, the girl.
Man, we didn't even scratch the surface, because I could
didn't
go on and
scratch.
on about that stuff.
Okay.
Because I don't think those remains that they found are his.
Really? I thought they matched the DNA to his.
It's easy to say that. It's easy for somebody to sign off on that shit when you got power and friends in high places.
They found some of his stuff though, right?
Yeah, it said allegedly through the dental remains they found a couple bones.
Oh, I thought some of his personal items too.
Oh yeah, you found a waterproof bag and something else. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean nothing. Like, the parents came after a week and found that nigga in within 30 minutes, within 20 minutes, within a few minutes they found found him, and the whole state of Florida was looking for that guy.
I think he's dead, but where could he go? I mean, he'd have to have a plane to South America or somewhere.
Why a plane? Because here's the thing: them immigrants is walking right across the border. Why can't they do the same?
He's in Florida, though. That's a peninsula.
Who's to say he's in Florida? That dude could be in the Dominican Republic, Haiti.
I had a theory that he went to Cuba, but I mean,
quite possible.
How did he get to Cuba? That was my theory at the beginning. Like, this guy's gone. He's in Cuba, but I mean.
Or even Mexico. He could have traveled, whatever interstate that is, State Route 8, all the way through to Texas, and went to. It's so easy for people to cross that border in Texas right now. They don't have enough manpower. It was probably nothing for him to grow his beard out and walk across that border.
Yeah,
like,
but Florida to Texas is a long hike, man. That's a long hike.
A long hike, but he had a long head start. And who's to say how he traveled? Who's to say he traveled by foot? He was smart enough to get to the point of them to get ready to chase him. Like, he had a long head start. He wasn't on foot. They didn't just drop him off and he just started walking. Like,
I mean, you're saying the parents had money and they protected him.
Yeah, their net worth was $5 million, and they knew people in high places that were a part of the authorities. So I don't know necessarily, but I'm just saying there's more to it than meets the eye.
Well, maybe maybe there'll be some updating news in the next couple days or weeks, and
this is gonna be tough, man. Breaking news, yeah, like R. Kelly's thing.
People
because they're saying R. Kelly's innocent. Because this is because when we get it, he's guilty of whatever he found of him guilty of, but what they found him guilty of was not child molestation, underage nothing, and fucking whatever. It's like they got him for some other bullshit. Like,
he got him for rape, I thought. No.
What was R. Kelly found guilty of?
A minor, right? Didn't he have something to do with a minor?
On September 27, 2021, a federal jury in New York found Kelly guilty on 9 counts, including racketeering, sexual exploitation.
Okay. That's a minor.
Sexual exploitation. You know what I'm talking about. Of a child.
Of a child, yeah. That's
kidnapping, bribery,
trafficking.
sex trafficking,
Yeah.
and a violation of the Mann Act. Do you know what the Mann Act is?
No, I don't.
The Mann Act was in they made that I might not be, I get my knowledge from whatever in YouTube, okay? The Mann Act of 1910 was a law that said you can be held liable for anything. Like, if you send your daughter, you live in Ohio, and you send your daughter to Florida to visit someone for sex, then you're going to be, you could be held liable. The Mann Act is finding any man guilty. Let me get you.
Well, okay.
What's the Mann Act?
I mean, regardless, though, he has multiple
counts against him of racketeering and all. But yeah, they had to pin him with some sort of stuff. All the stuff that he got found guilty of is the stuff that his handlers were doing, and they pinned it on him. And like, how would he know? All he does is produce product of songs and shit.
Well, that doesn't take away his talent. I mean,
right?
It doesn't. It'll never take away his music and his talent. It's what he did in his private life that got him in trouble, basically.
So the Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, is a federal law that criminalizes the transportation of any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery, or for any other immoral purpose. Yeah. So if you're shipping your daughter off to get piped down by some guy, that's the Mann Act, and you can be found guilty of the Mann Act.
Well, they're obviously.
But where's the parents held accountable at?
Right, but if they have parents, some of these kids, I mean, they're not supervised by parents or guardians. I mean, well, it's common knowledge that a lot of these people love these rock stars. They go crazy over them.
Crazy.
They want to be with them, and in this case, it was the opposite sex, the girl and the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. How long is he get? It's not a life sentence, is it?
He's facing up to life.
Is he facing it? Okay.
Facing up to life.
I doubt if he'll get life, right? I doubt it.
I don't know, man. They like to make examples out of people.
I mean, New York has a really strict.
They have
a strict criminal
very strict.
Criminal code.
Hey guys. It's your man Most Blind.
It's about that time.
D.O. Malone, DelTha510, the Hungry Hustler.
D.L.'s falling asleep, so.
The Social Misfit. No, I ain't falling asleep. I'm here.
I'm just joking.
I'm here. I might even drink another beer.
The producer's always going. He's always going.
Always going.
He's got his next show ready to go.
Yeah, we still building, man.
He's got the heavy as the crowd going all the time. His wheels are turning constantly. So do you have your next guest lined up yet?
Yeah, I got people lined up. It's just all about timing and resources and availability. Yeah. And it's tough because, not everybody's on the same page, and schedules and people want, back rubs and stuff. So it's like
back rubs.
Yeah, man.
That sounds
sometimes, yeah, right. So
that sounds like not on the show.
I'm trying to get this, I'm not trying to, but when things work out, I got this paramedic coming on. I got some other.
So you got all different kinds of
walks of life, man. Just people I've encountered, but it doesn't always work out that way because people aren't necessarily, and you can attest to it that.
Well, maybe you'll get a ventriloquist.
Oh, that'd be dope. But
or
you can
a breakdancer.
Oh, no, breakdancer. Yeah, we're gonna do tiny desk concerts on my music page, DelTha510. Yeah. Orange Insignia. You find it on YouTube. We're gonna be doing tiny desk concerts where I'm gonna have rappers come on and perform, and I'm gonna be doing things like I picked up my trumpet. I got it repaired. You know what I'm saying?
So I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I'll be playing some trumpet here for you guys. Hopefully sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be doing some duets with D-Red. The saxophone player. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some duets with him.
Sounds like good jazz to me.
Yeah, man, we're gonna work on some stuff. Lord willing, I'm here long enough, and we're gonna continue to build. Thank you, George, for appearing on my show.
Oh, you're welcome. I like the fishing hat, by the way.
Thank you, my man. It's from Paris.
It's from Paris. 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 It's like lobster bisque. Paris. Like that. Paris.
Hey, make sure you like, subscribe, and share if you like what's going on. Hey, like I said, man, if you want to try to help your boy out, just progress. DelTha510 is the Cash App. It's all one thing with a $sign in front. But it's your main man, Most Blind. You got to work to eat and hustle to live. With my main man, George, the Theologian. You got to work to eat and hustle to live.
Amen.
And
alrighty.
Hopefully we'll see you here soon.
See you soon.
Hey, I'll talk